all new. AM 1150 WTMP.com.
All right. Okay, we here. It's that time again. Got everybody's attention. Got a show for you today. I'm gonna tell you.
We're gonna do this.
We got a good one. Yeah, we got a good one. Showtime.
Let's do this.
Showtime. All right. We're gonna do this thing, and we're gonna do it like only we can do it, because we had entertainment Wednesday night, Thursday night. Like you would not believe.
Oh, the clown show.
The clown show. I actually posted a clown show thing on my Facebook page.
In Espanol. It was for the Spanish people. It was for America. It was for Mexico, right?
They had a couple people trying to speak Spanish up there. So
pretty horribly, but.
So anyway, here we go. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do our normal introductions, and then we're gonna introduce and talk about our sponsors, and then we're gonna do this show, because part of what we're gonna do is, how do you fix America? And that's a pretty big deal right there. You know, first of all, you gotta make a constellation that, you know, maybe it's broke. You know, and that's a lot for people. I mean, you know, it's not
compared to what now? I don't think it's broke at all.
It's not broke for all.
We need adjustments.
It's not broke for all. And again, you know, and the fix is partially, you know, personal. I'm gonna tell you, because what I'm talking about is how we fix the black community. Because again,
that's separate. That's different.
White community is completely different. So we're gonna get started. My name is Eddie Adams Jr. This is Porch Talk Radio. This is Saturday, 1 o'clock. This is our time period, which we fix the world. You know, we fix a whole bunch of stuff, and hopefully, I can nudge, push, you know, shock some people into doing some action, because we don't just entertain. I told you guys this before. You know, a lot of these shows are just for entertainment. We actually want to make the community better. I have some stuff happen as a result of the stuff we're saying and the stuff we're talking about. So let's get this thing going. Call in number, if you want to call in and be on the show, 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. That's if you want to call in and be on the show. If you want to call and talk about the show after the show is over, you want to call me, complain, talk about something, come up with a great idea. Call me. However you do it. My cell phone number, Eddie Adams' cell phone number, 813-230-3312. 813-230-3312. PorchTalkRadio.com. That's the website. If you want to email me, Eddie at PorchTalkRadio.com. And somebody just called, so they'll probably
That's
Willie,
good.
They'll probably Willie call.
He's good on that.
Yeah, they'll probably Willie call it, because he just gave out the number. All right. Okay, so our sponsors. Let's get that part of it out the way. Sponsors: Todd Jones, property appraiser.
Great guy.
Great guy, been with us from the very beginning. You know, loyal listener, loyal fan, all that kind of stuff. J.A. Pressure Washing, residential and commercial. If you need your sidewalk done, you need your house done. You know, if you need something pressure clean, call J.A. Pressure Washing, 813-850-6849. 813-850-6849. The Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee, who actually came out and participated and was involved with our Juneteenth last week. Local support from the local party, local chair, Jim Washarsky. Jim, appreciate all the help,
Jim.
all the stuff you do for the community. We know you're trying, so that's important. Also, Print Fast, John Desbrow, 813-621-9444. 813-621-9444. And all your printing needs, and he got a car lot. So if you need a car, you know, a little smart car or something, if you need a big car, you know, we got some some Mercedes out there. You name it, he got them. So he got about 200 some cars. So go see John. Tell John Eddie sent you. That should be good for a couple of pennies off of the purchase of a vehicle or your print job. Now this has been a long week, and traditionally for Porch Talk Radio, I sit down a couple hours before the show, come up with the agenda, then we come in and do the show. But I actually sat down Thursday and Friday, and I listened to all the newscasts about the debates and what happened and who happened and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I thought thinking about Tampa Bay. And part of what they was talking about, well, how do you fix America? And I was saying to myself, how do we fix Hillsborough County? How do we
bring it local.
How do we fix Tampa Bay? How do we make some stuff happen here? And the first thing, that came to my mind, and we're gonna talk about the debate a little bit later, but what I wanted to do is talk about some of this local stuff. All right. I'm gonna break it down, because they got something that a lot of folks don't understand, and it's called institutionalized racism. Mm-hmm. And see, and again, everybody won't understand, and it don't affect everybody the same. And some people don't even believe it happens. But let me give you some numbers, and then you take these numbers, and as we talk about this, you mull over them. 246 years of slavery. And that's from 1619 to 1865. And 1865 is what the Juneteenth is all about, because that's when slavery was officially ended in the United States of America. Even though 1863 is when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, it took 2.5 years for it to get to Galveston, Texas, which was the actual end of legalized slavery in America. Now, 99 years of Jim Crow laws.
Which was a Democrat thing.
Jim Crow laws in America.
Yeah, they set it up.
And that was from 1865 till 1964. I mean, a lot of you guys know about, what happened in 1964. And they only talk about, and for these numbers here, they're talking about 86 years of lynching. But I did a study, they were still lynching people in 2000. So again, but I'm just saying, I'm just reading the numbers here from some numbers.
It's still happening down in Africa every day now.
Well, I'm talking about U.S. I'm talking about here locally, they were still lynching people. So 86 years of lynching from 1882 to 1986. Now, they didn't stop lynching black folks in 1986, but I guess these folks say, well, we're going to stop counting after that. Okay, 14 years of the civil rights fighting for civil rights, 14 years. That's from 1954 to 1968. And then you got to look at the overall picture, the big deal. 400 years of oppression. That's from 1619 till 2019. So that's actually 400 years. So if you do the math, put all this stuff together, and that's why last week when we started talking about reparation, we started getting a lot of calls. Well, anytime you start talking about race in America, I don't care if you're talking to all black audience or all white audience or mixed audience of what the deal is. For a radio announcer, that's low hanging fruit, because race, whether you're a racist or not, even people who don't call into the radio program will call in and talk about race. It's just that kind of topic, and everybody in America got a feeling about it one way or the other. So what do we do? How do we
locally?
How do we fix some stuff? And so what I'm going to do, I did go to the Black Wall Street play a couple of weeks ago. And what happened with the Black Wall Street? In the early 1900s, a place called Greenwood Community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, had a striving black neighborhood. They had 600 businesses. They had about 10,000 residents. the area's business district was nicknamed the Black Wall Street because it was so successful and had so many black enterprises. So the deal is, it can happen anywhere. Why can't it happen here in Tampa? Well, we got the nucleus. We got the start of it. All right, we got a call. We got a call to come in just before I get on my horse and start riding and rambling. Okay. All right, caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio this Saturday afternoon. What say you?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Just wanted to just make a comment. I hear Gabriel always talking about the Democrats. The thing is that it was both Democrats and Republicans, both that were comprised of white men.
Sir, if you studied your history, you'd know specifically that that's not true.
Okay,
Go
brother.
ahead.
Yeah, we're not gonna argue with you, but we're not gonna let you get away with that.
No.
All through history, these were all Democrat. Democrat Party spearheaded all of the slavery issues. They were part of the terrorist arm of the Democratic Party was the Ku Klux Klan. So I can't let you, somehow make Republicans responsible for stuff that they actually didn't have part of.
Are you just going to find white supremacy and those acts for just one political party?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We can do that. We can do that, and because it's my
And we're off
show,
to the races,
because it's my show, I'm not gonna let you come in and make Republican responsible stuff that Republicans were not responsible for. Democrats signed and was proud to do it at that time.
I have no problem with reparations. I
Right.
really don't, guys. I
Okay.
have no problem with it.
But this
let's
is
have
not
the
the
Democrats set up
reparations
a
show.
fund,
Okay.
and let's have them pay it. I'm good with that.
Okay, we have another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. What say you this afternoon?
Yes, I'm glad that you guys are doing the topic. The gentleman was asking, why can't we do it in Tampa? We got to get people not just on the same page. We have to make a conscious decision that we're going to become entrepreneurs and that we're going to produce jobs ourselves within our community.
Okay.
And that we support black businesses, not just in a way that, hey, we buy black, but also to be able to give them the resources and
I like that.
work with each other.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, that's where I was going. That's where
Yeah.
I am going to go. With my conversation about how do we make it happen here, but I had to set the background for what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because they actually had an example of how a black community can not only do well, but they can flourish and become very, very competent within themselves. And what they did and what happened was they spent money with other black businesses within their community.
Okay.
So what they did was they had like the little ad, like the thing said, they had about 600 businesses. So for anything that you needed to spend $1 for the cleaners, they had their own movie theaters, they had their own grocery stores, they had their own shops, they had their own seamstress and people who sold and made stuff and they produced stuff, and they had their own farm, so they had their own farm animals. So what they did was, and the reason they became such a model, community, was they spent money within their own community, thereby creating enterprise that developed the basis for which they could spend money within themselves, get all their goods and services from each other, thereby producing millionaires. And that's what they did. The community had lots of black folks who was wealthy because they didn't have to go to Tulsa or anywhere else to spend their money. They spent their money at home. Now that's something we can do here in Tampa. And I started thinking about,
Do we network
What-
with businesses,
what-
or how do we get the word out?
what do we do?
Yeah.
The whole thing with Candy Low and the business, the Black Business Bus Tour, that's a nucleus. But you got to look at how much money is in the black community. There's a significant amount of money in the black community. If you only just look at the churches, and
Everybody
and,
is.
and I'm not throwing churches under the bus. Just look at the money in the churches. If that money was spent within the black community, so you take the idea of a network. Now in Tulsa they had 600 black businesses. we probably have 600 black businesses right here in Tampa, right here in Hillsborough County.
Really?
I guarantee you, we probably have 600 black businesses. Now, they may not be all in the same contiguous 36 blocks,
Yeah, I got it.
but we got that number of businesses. Now, what needs to happen? And hopefully folks will listen and call somebody that know, and we can start making this thing happen. Okay.
Is it a network you're saying, or are you saying a publication?
No. I will say it.
I'm eager to hear it.
I will say it. So let me get it out. What the deal is, what we have to do is, and this is work, so somebody gonna have to do it. And I don't know if they can do it for free, or somebody gonna charge somebody, but there is no communication between. Now we got something called the Black Pages, and we got a couple of publications. We got the Florida Sentinel. You know, there's stuff out there. But if I wanted to find out, now what I do personally is I'm in 30 different groups and organizations. And what I do when I spend my dollars and cents, my money, I try to go to people that I know that are within my network, which means these are clubs that I'm a member of. These are groups that I'm a member of. If I need to spend $1 and one of my frat brothers got a shop or something, I will go spend my dollars if they offer goods or services that I need. If I need a professional, I will go to somebody I know. Now, at this point, I don't think there's a comprehensive list that's available to the general public or the general community that has all the black businesses or shops or produce or services that's offered by the community to the general public. Now, you ain't got to offer these services just to the community. You just got to have a business and you offer these services. Part of how the community of Tulsa did what it did was, I see we got a call. Hold on a second. Did what they did was they communicated with each other, and $1 spent 2 months in the black community before it left. That means that was people who looked like each other, spending money with each other and making sure that they took care of themselves first. So the money stayed within the community. I'm telling you who's good at that, and I'm not being racist, but the Jews. Jews spend money with other Jews before they spend money outside their community.
Just saying.
So we have other examples of how that work is networking with yourself, and part of networking is knowing who these folks are, whatever goods or services they sell, produce, or whatever it is, and spending your money with those people. And first thing, black folks don't trust each other. We are our own worst enemy. I know that. I understand that.
People.
You know, but you know, you got white folks who mess you over and done you bad and done you wrong and all that kind of other stuff. But when we do it to each other, somehow it hurt more. It's hurt deeper, and you never forget it. But you got to get over that, because if we're gonna make our community better, we got to learn to do business with each other, network with each other, and spend money with each other. That way, you take it out of the hands of always having to beg somebody else to give you something, beg somebody else to do something for you. You know, beg somebody for this, beg somebody for that. That whole reparation thing is begging somebody. Well, we spent 400 years. I'm not for that. I am for us making changes within this community and making them now. So anyway,
because you control it then.
We got a new caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. What say you this Saturday afternoon?
Yes, I'd like to say everything that you're talking about, I agree with, and I just want to make a couple points.
Go ahead.
Folks in Oklahoma, when they built their own community, they own land.
Yes.
We have to get black American families, business owners owning land, owning things. We can't continue leasing everything we have or renting. So that's number one. Number two, if we do business with a black person and the experience is bad, instead of saying, hey, I had a bad experience with a black business, what we need to do is go back to that brother or sister and educate them. Say, look, I want to do business with you, but this is not how you should be conducting yourself. I'm going to give you another chance, because what happens in most cases, we have a bad experience, we leave those people, and we never come back. That's why our businesses are devastated.
Right.
And then the last point is a way we can resolve these problems in a tremendous way, and most black people are not paying attention. It is the opportunity zone. Tim Scott and Cory Booker created legislation that allows you to go out and bring private capital to distressed communities, not just to buy into real estate property, but also to invest into small businesses. They can get loans from these opportunity zone funds at zero interest. All they need is a business plan, and they need to be able to get involved in this new legislation and stop ignoring it, because the next thing that is coming, what's his name, Ben Carson, the Secretary of Housing, just announced on Tuesday, they're going nationwide. They're going to ask for every state, local government to rechange their zoning for affordable housing. What that means is that now you're going to be able to have what they call tiny houses or these modular home systems. We have to get our people more aware and become owners. And I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
Good point.
Okay, good caller. Okay, where we going is our future is in our own hands. Far too often we have people, major leaders, major spokesmen for our community that act like we can't do this ourselves. And that's the problem I have with many of the folks who represent us, either intentionally or unintentionally. You know, this stuff is stuff that we can do. We have millions, if not billions of dollars right here in the Tampa black community. Mm-hmm. Now, what we choose to do is we choose to not spend that money with each other. We feel more faithful, more satisfied giving that money to some white guy. And we're not politically correct, so I'm going to say, to some white guy, as opposed to you walk by 5 or 6 black folks to give your money to a white person. That stuff is inbred. That comes from 400 years of slavery. That comes from 400 years of mistrust. That comes from 400 years of being told, that who looks like you, will stick a knife in your back as soon as smile at you. So again, there's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, and you can go to a black business and not get good results or favorable results, and you won't go tell that brother, that his business model of what he did was not right, and you don't appreciate it. You rather keep it to yourself and never go back again. That don't help him. That don't help you. So what we got to do is how do we create a different mindset within the black community?
Help each other out.
Because if we're going to get and do what has proven to improve the community, then we got to put faith in each other. We got to trust in each other. We got to do business with each other. Mm-hmm. Now, like I say, there's a network out there. And somebody probably has a black manual of all the black businesses in the Tampa Bay area. I don't know of it. The Small Business Association Administration is not going to provide it for you. So that's something some independent, either student at USF or student at ACC or somebody who's working on a doctoral thesis or a master's thesis or something, who got to generate a book, because that's part of your defense of whatever it is you're trying to explain. You got to create a book. So why don't that book be a list, index of all the black business? And I can't say minority, because minority is too many people. And this show, I'm trying to help out black folks. So I'm not prejudiced, and I'm not, trying to create something that's already in existence. I know there's some semblance of it out there, but there's no definitive. There's nothing that have all the black businesses out there. So if I wanted to go buy if I wanted to go buy a bicycle parts, where there's a black bicycle shop. If I wanted to go, there's plenty of hair shops and beauty shops and haircuts and stuff like that. But it's a lot of other trinkets and good things and clothing and things that we buy that we don't buy from black folks anymore. It used to be a men's store. Black men's stores had black folks that owned the black men's store. Well, guess what? Most of them are not owned by black folks anymore. So you got to go to one that's owned by somebody who looks like you. That's how this thing works. In order to network, you have to understand what it is and how money works. Nobody teaches us in the black community how money works. They don't teach it in school, and they don't teach it in college. That's something that you find out by trial and error. You make a whole bunch of business mistakes. You go out of business 5 times, and then you become an expert on telling folks how to stay in business.
Yeah.
But again, part of that whole learning is something that there's a communal knowledge that happens when everybody in the community is trying to do the same thing at the same time. That's why I was trying so hard last year to do the Black Credit Union, which turned out to be a black bank. And we're still in negotiation with that because we had David Strands, who's a billionaire, who said to me in several of the conversations we've had, the whole idea or concept was to get many, not all, but many of the black churches to pool our money together to create a resource for the black community. Well, we take a bunch of churches to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Finance is part of the whole idea of making the black community profitable, making a black community, self-sufficient in itself. I mean, the money is there. There's people collecting money every Sunday and every Wednesday night, and that money goes not back to the community, it goes to help other communities. And how do we make that money flow back to our community? So part of that is, and I'm going to throw this out there. I tutor, I teach, I mentor, young black males, 25 to 45, in several of the different programs that I do. And the first thing I tell them day one is I say, figure out a way to do all the things that you do and save, put away, protect $1,000 a year. Protect it from yourself. Put it in some kind of equity fund. Put it in something that you can't get for 30 years. Because if you do that in 30 years, that's $30,000, that you got for you when you need it. And it's your money. Figure out a way to do it, and there's a way to do it. So I'm telling you as a community, as a black community, if you guys will figure out a way to spend, and some of you guys do it with no problem, but it's a lot of folks who don't. Spend at least $1,000 a year with black folks. Buying sandwiches,
black business people,
buying sandwiches, buying restaurants, going to other places. But I know they got black business directories, but again,
I don't know where they're out of.
But again, they got thousands of black businesses that's not in that directory. That's why I say they got black pages. I mean, that's an advertisement. If you pay, you could be in some of these things.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys got mom and pop shops that don't pay, don't advertise, don't market. That's part of the problem. But also to have a black network with all the black businesses in it, somebody's going to have to do the work. I don't know who does it, and it's not done for free, but that's something that the community needs. So if you know somebody who does that kind of stuff, and somebody who got the time, energy, and the effort, I'm gonna tell you what I do. I'm gonna tell you what I do all the time. I'm a politico. I spent years running for a political office. I met thousands and thousands of people. Part of that whole process is I know people who do a little bit of everything. So if I run across a person who got a problem, and I know of another person that has a solution to that particular problem, I, on a regular basis, put those two people together.
Mm-hmm.
If money is involved, the person who's going to make the money, I tell them, okay, I created a situation for you which cost you no money. You didn't advertise, you didn't market it. I showed up at your doorstep, or I call you, and I say I have a person with some money who needs to spend it with you. When that person makes the money, I say, give me 6%. That's what I do. 6% is less than tax. Taxes here in Hillsborough County is 8.5%. So it's a way in which I can take advantage of having built a network of people, plus I can put people together. So think about if the black businesses got together and started helping each other, if for nothing more than networking with each other, putting people together who had money and problems to solve, and all you had to do was put them together. And 6%, I mean, finder's fees for folks who charge finder's fees is 15%. So you're talking about less than a finder's fee to put together somebody, help solve a problem, help make some money for the businesses, and help do it for yourself. So I'm just saying that's me, but everybody don't have a network of thousands and thousands of people. But 10, 20, you may know 50. of that 50 people in your conversations on a daily basis, you may hear of a particular problem. You may know of a person who can solve that particular problem. That's kind of how we start. And again, it's something that we can do here in Hillsborough County. There's no reason we can't do what they did in Tulsa here in Hillsborough. We have, and I guarantee you, we got 300 some churches. That's half of the 600 black businesses right there. A church is a business. If you don't think so, show up on Sunday afternoon when they do the count for the day and see how much money each one of them raking in. And each one of them got to have a group or organization make financial decisions about what happens with that money.
And they have building projects going on all the time.
Well, that's what business is about.
And
So
we need contractors.
So how do you do what it is you do with the money you make? How do you put that money back into your community? So that's how we start making some effort. And again, the problem is not saying that, oh, okay, we're all in the same race. Okay? The people we started running against are 15, 20, 100 years, ahead of us. If you're going to put it to a race, we're going to run a 100-yard dash. We got a goal, but they start on the 20, you start on 0. So they're 20 yards ahead of you. Okay, sometimes you're not going to be able to make that up, but that's not your goal. Your goal is to get to the end of the race. And if you get to the end of the race and you've acquired a lot along the way, including knowledge, knowledge is valuable. If you're smarter at the end of the race than you were at the beginning of the race, when you get to that goal, then what you do is you set a new goal. And that new goal may be 220 yards, or it may be 420 yards, maybe a mile. But what it is, you're constantly running that race. And you're running that race whether you intend to run it or not. Complaining about it do not get you any closer to any goal that you have ever set or anybody else has ever set.
Well, and folks, as you look at all this, the idea that Eddie's trying to put forth to everybody is start being a solution, start being an answer, start being a person who says, I can do that. I know somebody that does some of that. I think we can put this together. I believe that we can do this. I know some people. I can organize this. It's supposed to just whine, complain.
I know we got a caller.
Whine.
We'll get to him soon.
Complain. There you go. Well, just letting you folks know this is you being involved, you caring about the community. And Eddie's saying keep the dollars flowing inside the community and let that dollar circulate a few times in that community. Nothing wrong with that. Go ahead. You want to bring on the caller?
If you make the effort, I'm gonna tell you something right now. This is something I know. It's an art to dealing with black folks. I am black. I know it. You got to make the effort. It don't just happen, and it's not easy. So this is something the whole community got to make a decision. Okay, that I'm gonna work with them, I'm gonna spend my money, and I'm gonna make the effort to work with some black folks. And it's difficult. It's not easy. I'm telling you. I know. And anytime I have a conversation with somebody serious about it, I know it's hard to work with you black folks. I'm telling you.
There you go.
I'm telling you that right now to your face. I'm saying.
But it can be done.
It can be done, and it takes.
It will be done. It needs to be done to save the community.
All right, look. Okay, next caller. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio this Saturday afternoon. What say you?
Yep.
Okay, they left. Okay, well.
Well, it wasn't serious.
All right, that's kind of like Facebook. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. So.
Oh, come on now. Don't go there. Don't go there. You're casting shade on people here. Don't be doing that.
I know. I'm sorry.
But back to being positive, folks. The whole idea is if you guys just get involved, and Eddie's out here giving you ideas. Eddie's done he knows the businesses. If some of you guys start communicating with Eddie, saying, Eddie, what can I do? How can I be a part of the answer? How can I be a part of the solution? Successful people don't wait around and moan around and let somebody else go figure it out. They get involved themselves and they make it happen. You might be the one that might have that entrepreneur idea that just might launch, but it's going to take you being involved and you going out there and asking people, hey, I want to get this done. How do I do it? And Eddie's bringing you guys nothing new. I know somebody else has thought of it. Now Eddie's saying, let's go forward. Let's come together. Let's have a meeting somewhere. Let's have a gathering. Here's some ideas. Who can run with this? Who can say, I'm not too tired, I'm wore out, or I'm angry, or I'm upset? Leave that at home, folks. That doesn't help anybody. That keeps you right where you've been, and it ain't always good.
Well, it's not by having a bunch of meetings. That's the first thing people say. We got to have a meeting on this, a meeting on that. No.
A committee for this, committee for that?
It is going out of your way, because I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that know me knows I live in Temple Terrace. and Temple Terrace is probably as lily white as you can get without being in a gated community.
What's wrong with that?
But several times through the course of a week, I do come and I spend money within the community, and I spend that money intentionally. So again, they got restaurants in Temple Terrace. They got everything in Temple Terrace. They got in Tampa, and they got here in the hood. And I really, for convenience, don't have to leave my home and go spend money, but I do. And again, if several people, it don't take everybody, but if all of you guys, and it's over 100,000 black folks in Hillsborough County. So if you take 100,000 times 1,000, and all of them start doing it, you see how the numbers add up? And it don't take long. And $1,000 over a period of a year is not a lot of money. I mean, you can spend $1,000, eating breakfast or lunch at a black restaurant. I'm just telling you, over a period of a year. I mean, the possibilities.
Some of that is really good too.
And if you got printing to do, they got black printers. They got black T-shirt shops. They got whatever it is you do, and you spend money. I mean, some bills are $1,000. If you got one bill that's $1,000 and you spend that in one place, then good for you, because everybody's not able. But I'm just thinking about the everyday Joe who may be riding their bicycle, and they're 45 years old, and they get from place A to place B, because that's their primary means of transportation. Do what you do, but in there, some kind of way, incorporate spending your money intentionally with other black people. That's healthy for this community. I heard somebody talking about affordable living. Nobody on the planet, and I'm not trying to be hurtful, builds houses for poor folks. Habitat for Humanity tries, but at the end of the day, those are not poor folks' houses. Those houses are still $150,000, $200,000. And it's not getting in the house. The issue is you got a mortgage that comes up every month.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue. So now, not only do you got to get in it, you got to stay in it. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio this Saturday afternoon, caller. What say you? Hello?
What say you?
Yes, sir.
This is Joe Robinson.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mr. Joe.
Yeah, Eddie, we had a Black Business Director, last one published, that was about 80% accurate, included all 300 checkers. I got to list all this. It was 2006.
Okay.
That was done by James Evans Academy of Hope.
Yep.
Used to do one every year. Right now, as Economic Development Chair of the NAACP, we are looking into creating again the Black Business Directory.
Yes.
And it's going to be free.
Yes.
Okay, the
Wow.
black pages you got to pay for. I don't pay for nothing like that.
Right.
Never have and never will. But it can be done. I know how it's done. How we can get the input from the barber shop, the beauty shops, the just people
Right.
on the street, this and
Yes.
that. And it can be done. It's in the process of being talked about and thought about. So just stand by. That they will be. We looking into creating again, since James Evans is gone, the Black Business Directory, Black businesses in it. Because right now you got to pay for that. I don't pay for nothing like that. Never will and never will in 30 years in business. So I just want to tell you, right, you're on point. It would be a great thing to do, and I want to make it free. Now, if you want to put an ad in that advertisement, remember, Eddie, when I was on the other side of the fence, in 2012, I tried to get the Republicans that was coming here for the National Convention to help put together that, and they first group said yes, and then when they got rid of the first organizing group that I was part of, they said no.
Yes.
You remember that. So
I
just wanna
remember.
throw that at you.
I
You
remember.
that, Eddie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to bring it back. We're going to try to do it right, and it's going to be free. We just have people want to advertise in it, knock yourself out. But it needs to be free. So I know how to do it. It don't take that much to do it, but it takes a lot of people having to fax back your form, send in your information,
Yeah.
and then we have to somewhat verify, because there's a disclaimer
Right.
that people say they're in business, of this and that, and we have to sort of have a little disclaimer in it. But I know how it's done, and you're right. It's just a matter of time. And that's all I want to say, Eddie. Keep up the good work, man. And you guys on the other side of the fence, we got to work this thing right down the middle, okay?
There you go. Thank you.
so much.
Thanks, sir. God bless.
Thank you. And Joe's one of those problem solvers.
That's what we need.
He's one of those guys who's been in the battle, the line of fire. And again, Joe Robinson has run for a whole bunch of stuff, but Joe's heart has always been in helping this community and moving this community forward. So you'll never hear me say anything disparaging about Joe Robson. A lot of folks say Joe's for Joe, but Joe is for the community, and he's proven that countless number of times. So again, thank you, Joe, because somebody's got to do it, and it's not a lot of money to make this thing get started, but this is kind of like a snowball rolling down the hill. Because once it gets started, it's going to be easy to keep it going, but the hardest part is the momentum it takes to start something like this off. Sure. And again, if there's something out there for all the black businesses that's free, that you don't have to take a lot of effort to go find whatever source you need, somebody's doing. You know, they got mom and pop shops that are in these houses. They got people who run businesses out of their house. I know you know, but I know a lot of these lawn care businesses, you know, these guys don't have offices. You know, it's in their house. It's in their kids' house. And you know, we don't have basements here in Florida, but we have attics. So again, where your business is located within the community, it's about whatever good or services that you're offering or making available. Because if 10 people show up this week that didn't show up last week, guess what? Your income for the month just increased tenfold or more. And now that you made a business commitment with somebody new, somebody different, that money comes in every month. And like I was saying about the housing part, it's not getting in the house, it's staying in the house.
Yeah.
And when you think about, you know, 246 years of slavery and 99 years of Jim Crow, I mean, we all run in the same race. But you know, when you're talking about financially, you know, a lot of white folks, and again, we're not politically correct, a lot of white folks don't understand what that means, being behind, because right now, the ones who were born in the last 50, 60 years, oh, well, you know, we were born the same. But see, they had something that you won't ever get, and it's called generational wealth. And you can't make that up. No. I mean, you got families that were born millionaires, and when they turn to be 21, you know, they inherit $1 million. Well, it's not a whole bunch of black folks in America, when they get to be 21, gonna get $1 million. It just don't happen like that. Don't happen like that. So part of this whole process is understanding. And I tell folks this is what I say. I say, how do you make it in America is you understand the rules of the game that's being played. And then you become better at it than the next guy. And that's something you control. That's something you can't put on somebody else. That's something that only you can do. You can set your goal as high as you want or as low as you want. But that's something that's on you. And a lot of people aren't self-starters. And a lot of black folks aren't self-starters. I'm just saying. You know, the ones that are good and more power to you, you're going to make it no matter what the situation is. But they got some other folks that need some help, need some pushing. And again, you know, if you're the guy that pushes people like I am, me and Joe and some other people, then we're going to push you. Sometimes we have to push the whole community. But it's important that the community moves forward, not backwards.
Because you got to get past the current generation to help the next generation, and that means you got to do something different than what you've been doing now. Because we got that next generation coming down the pike, and what? They're going to be same boat?
Well, we used to want our kids to do better
That's
than
true.
us, you know, but, you know, up until now, you know, that was just primarily a white thing. You know, I'm just saying, you know, because they could leave you a couple of dollars and say, you know, you're not starting flat broke or in debt. You know, you're starting out, you know, with some help. You know, we leaving you some land, we leaving you a couple of houses, we leaving you a couple of this, a couple of that. Well, right now, that's not the case for many people within the black community. But we know that, you know, and so again, you can't make up, you know, and use that as an excuse to continue to fail, or continue to do bad, or continue to do what you've been doing, which is complaining. Complaining helps nobody. Complaining don't help you. You don't help the person you're complaining to. Matter of fact, what you're doing is somebody may have been started the day off happy. Time they get their problem, and then you lay your problems on them. Guess what? Now they got 3 sets of problems laying on them that they didn't have when they woke up this morning. So again, you know, if you got something good to say, something to say that's going to help somebody, something that's going to push somebody, you know, forward and help them with their quest, whatever their quest may be, do that.
Yeah.
But for you to lay all your lay all your crap, lay all your shit on them, and then don't understand why they don't do no better. Again, it's a community-wide issue, and us folks here at Porch Talk understand that how we gonna move this community forward is by becoming involved, incentivizing folks to help other folks. And as this community improves and do better, we will all improve and we all do better.
A rising tide rises the ships, all of them, small, little, and big. I mean, it helps it all, everybody out. But again, the whole idea, folks, is be part of the answer, be part of the solution, and say, what can I do? What am I good at? What can I do to help out in the big picture? And Eddie's kind of talking like teamwork in the community with the business owners, all the teamwork, everybody helping each other out. How you doing with your business? You need some help? What's going on? And try and go from there. A lot of business people are wanting, have an idea to do something. They start it, but they haven't thought it through.
Well, prosperity is like a smile. It's infectious. If you start doing good, it's going to be a lot of people who want to know how you're doing what it is you're doing.
Absolutely.
And if you share with them, and I'm going to tell you what the guy at McDonald's said. It's only 24 hours in the day. How do you get more than 24 hours out of a day? Then you make a business. And then that business makes another business. And that business makes another business. So in that same 24 hours a day that you was working, now you got 24 other businesses taking their 24 hours to help make money for you. Mm-hmm. And that starts a process. So again, I'm going to do on this day in history.
Oh, please. Let's do that.
Before we get by today, since Willie's not here to remind me to do it. Okay, well, we're going to take the caller first. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio this Saturday afternoon. What say you? Hello?
Hey, Eddie, this is Ebony Vaz. How are you?
Hey.
I'm doing excellent. And we're talking about a young entrepreneur that's making some stuff happen within the community. What say you this afternoon?
Well, you and Gabriel are always telling the truth. One of the things I just wanted to share is, I've been involved in so many different things in the community, but I just wonder if we could get to a point where people that are in East Tampa, people are in West Tampa, people are in North Tampa, if they would focus on bringing together that communal part, creating a Black Wall Street within each of those neighborhoods, because I'm not sure that we're going to ever get to that whole one big block radius, because we've all dispersed into various areas within the Tampa Bay community. But if we could see some effort through each of those individual areas, we might be able to network it and bring it together a lot more. The other thing that I find is that you don't know what you don't know, and I think that a lot of times people in our community, they are not really accessing resources that are in the area in order for them to be able to understand about new opportunities that are coming up. Like myself, James Faison, and Carol at SBDC, we did an event where we were telling people in the community, hey, these are some innovation projects that are going on, just to kind of give an update as to what you can possibly tap into in the future. And it was well received, and it's something we want to do again. But, we don't have a way to reach every group, because if we reach out to a group, it's almost as though, well, you didn't come and support us, or we don't know anything about that. And so instead of sharing the information within their group and their circle, they kind of cut it off. So I'm not really sure what the answer is, but I did want to put it out there, because I know from listening to TMP all day on Saturday, so many different leaders are tuned in. So I wanted to share, perhaps, we can get these captains of these different districts and areas to really focus on building up a Black Wall Street within their area, and then we can kind of network it all out together. And then eventually, I agree, the Black Pages should be something free for the community, but it also needs to be online. We have to get with technology. This is one of the reasons why people can't find some of these Black businesses, because they don't get online.
Well, thank you so very much, Evan.
Excellent. Good point.
She's one of our young listeners, and she's an entrepreneur and business person. Okay, we got another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. What say you this Saturday afternoon? Hello?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Yes, sir.
Good. So it's my first time listening to y'all. It's like that's such a blessing. I was on my way home and I was like, man, this is an awesome radio station.
Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here. So I just want to address something. So I'm, in my 20s and I work at, one of the banks out here. And one thing I've noticed with, like, our community is that, so I get a lot of people that say, hey, I want to start a business or I'm going to start a business. And me working in the financial field, I don't think our community knows how easy it is to open up a business account or register a business. I feel like in a sense, it almost seems like our community gets intimidated with the actual process of opening up a business. Like, it sounds great, but I feel like our community feels like it's so much work to start up a business. Because every time I talk to somebody in our community who wants to build a business, they're like, oh, well, I just got to get this straightened out, or I just got to get this straightened out. And I'm like, it doesn't take as much as people think to start a business,
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. Our problem is, and the nature of many people, especially black folks, is procrastination. That is our problem with everything. A lot of. I'm gonna tell you some of the most mental people, because I remember back in the day when they used to run Bolita, and they had black numbers runners who ran the numbers without paper and pencil, and never got anybody's numbers wrong. I mean, those are smart people. Those were businesses, but they did it under the table. They did it underground. So at the end of the day, a lot of times we never took our mental aptitude and put it to use for not only for ourselves and our families, but for our communities. We have some brilliant people. And again, part of the issue is information, is getting the knowledge out there and having a source that we can go to and identify, what these black businesses are. Because a lot of time, it's somebody maybe right down the street with a black business. And like I said, I stay in Temple Terrace, but, sometimes, you may have to leave the area where you at to do or give money to somebody that's black. But again, that shouldn't be something that prohibits you from doing it if the overall motive is good and and the motive is furthering and advancing the community.
Right. That's
So thank you for the call. We appreciate all the
Excellent.
new callers, the young
Yes.
callers. We got some people in their 20s that listen to this show a lot, and we get more and more. So that brother was just riding
They
around
bring some energy.
and heard us talking.
He might be a good person to offer some little classes on setting up accounts.
Well, I'm going to tell you something else. I was doing the same thing back in 1987. I was on my way to work. I used to work at Tampa Journal, and I heard Rush Limbaugh by accident for the first time. And he was saying some things that spoke to me, and I became a loyal listener and a loyal fan. So again, sometimes you just accidentally hear people saying some good stuff, and it clicks. So that's part of the process. And we've been doing Porch Talk Radio for 10 years now, believe it or not. So let me do on this day in
I'd say
history.
you don't look that old, but I'd be lying.
And then we're gonna talk about the debate that happened this Thursday. Okay, on this day, June the 29th, in 1776, the Virginia Constitution was adopted, and for those who back in the history day, Patrick Henry was made governor.
It's well back.
On June the 29th, 1925, Marvin Picken filed for a patent for the frosted electric light bulb. So a lot of folks don't know this stuff. I'm just bringing stuff up. Trivia. Back in June 29th, 1950, U.S. President Harry S. Truman authorized a sea blockade of Korea. So that's the beginning, for those who understand and know, that was the beginning of the Korean War. On this day, June 29th, 1953, the Federal Highway Act authorized the construction of 42,500 miles of freeway from coast to coast. That's when they first started building the interstate system. So again, some of this stuff, don't make a lot of sense and don't make a lot of stuff when you look back in history. But somebody had to do it. Somebody had to come up with these ideas, and somebody had to further these concepts. On this day, June 29th, 1967, Israel removed barricades, reunifying Jerusalem.
Well,
Yeah, we give goodbye stuff all over the planet. It's good stuff that affects us here in America. And on this date, June the 29th, 2007, the first generation Apple iPhone went on sale.
back in the day.
Back in the day. So again, for those who was on an island somewhere in the middle of nowhere and had no source of communication or internet or radio or whatever, the Democratic Party had a debate Wednesday and Thursday. Now Thursday was a lot more interesting to me because as I said when I started the show, race is low-hanging fruit.
Always.
If you're a TV person, you're a radio person, if you got any kind of platform, you don't have to beat people over the head with race to get a response out of people, even if people don't give a crap. Race is one of those kind of issues, and you get response and you get a lot of people active. So when Kamala Harris
The Jamaican lady.
jumped on Joe Biden, which was like I guess up until a point in time with the Great White Hope, starting these debates off. I mean, he was getting a 32 polling, 32 rating in the poll, highest of anybody, 10 points, kicking everybody's butt. Now I'm not gonna say the race issue destroyed Joe. Now and somebody actually challenged me this morning, saying, "Oh, given Joe Biden and Donald Trump, which would you pick?" I'm gonna tell you right now, I would pick Donald Trump.
Yeah, who's more black people?
Because I'm gonna tell you the difference between the two. Donald Trump may have been a billionaire, a millionaire. He may have a bunch of money. He was a rich man. If you look around in America, they got a bunch of rich folks.
They're there.
But what they don't have is they only got 535 people in Congress that makes the rules and the regulations and the laws that affect everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Joe Biden was. Joe Biden has been in politics for over 50-something years. That means he's been making laws at the state level, the local level, the national level, and he affects people. So if you got a racist or somebody that's a separatist or whatever you want to call it to be politically correct, which we're not make a big deal about on this show, and they feel that black folks are less worthy, be it whatever shape, form, or fashion you want to call it. Remember, 400 years of slavery and lynching and Jim Crow and all this stuff in this country that affects black folks and have put black folks down and have altered the view of a lot of white folks in this country about black folks. So a lot of people, you're not born prejudiced. That's something you learn.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And in this country, it's cultural. Because if you go to some of the islands, or you go overseas, or you go to Europe, or you go to Asia, go to some places, and the stuff that black folks in this country take for granted, over there they never heard of it. They don't know why white folks are prejudiced here.
Mm-mm.
They don't know why black folks are prejudiced here.
Mm-mm.
But what they do know is that there's a difference between black folks in America and white folks in America.
Well, now, I believe that Joe Biden is just old school Democrat. He's not one of these socialists.
He's in his 70s.
Yeah, he's old school. He said a bunch of bad stuff in his earlier days, and he's been part of the problem because nothing has really helped the black community across this nation since Joe's been up there 40 years.
And he's been vice president.
Yeah, and
For
vice president to a black man,
For 8
and yet
years.
nothing.
You're right.
No, and now he has a cure for cancer.
Well, that's the problem. See, I actually watched the debate, which not many Republicans did, but I watched some of the debates. Could not stand all of it, but I watched some of it, and I got the point of view of a lot of the issues are not. They're not trying to solve problems for America.
All. Nothing to solve problems. You're right.
They're spending too much time pandering to our differences and not
You're
trying
just saying that because you weren't speaking, understand Spanish.
Trying to put us together and solve problems. I mean, the one thing that I heard that they all said or did in some shape, form, or fashion, both nice, is health care. The government running health care is not a good idea.
Well, they've got the VA now.
they've always ran the VA.
Yeah, and that's complete government control. And why don't we have the Democrats saying, why don't we just open up the VA?
Well, it's been a mess. That's
Well,
why.
no, you don't understand that. No. They don't want to talk about that. They want to say that the government control in healthcare is the best thing sliced bread, but yet we talk about the VA. Oh, not the VA.
But that's part of the problem. The problem is that they. I am so.
God bless America.
I am so sorry. We're running over.
Busy.
So until next week. Point time.
Come on back.
Make it all good. We love you. Bye.
God bless.